Dear friends, the DigiU ecosystem is online. The project CEO Alexey Ognev welcomes you to our regular webinar. And today we're going to go into more details about the DigiU stages of development. Last webinar, we focused on 4 stages of the ecosystem development, and we've got very positive feedback from our partners who really went deeper into those 4 stages and studied it into details, and it gave an opportunity to understand better the development strategy. So now let's go deeper. So the first stage is designed so that the DGU community, the investors, get a better and clear understanding of the share profitability due to multifold increase of the funding for investment into DigiU. That's the first stage. The second stage, presumed launching and very well planned balanced development of our venture fund, which will invest in the internal projects, what's happening now, and the external projects, which will increase the attractiveness of the DGU system and bring attention and allow to attract more technologies to the DigiU system. The third stage is our Technopolis or technological cluster. We have not found the precise name of that stage, but generally we're thinking about development a very important high quality ecosystem which will enable us to get further to stage 4, the virtual world, the particular virtual world, the meta universe, whatever you name it. It doesn't change the core, the essence of it. And it's already now that we are working on the 4th stage, reshaping it after the 2 years of working on it. Perhaps it wasn't shaped that clearly, but the presumption was there. So today we're gonna go into more particular details about the first stage, where we must increase the value of share through multiple increase of the shares value. You know that the next gonna be a dividend payment, and we have very ambitious task that it's in June that we're gonna what's gonna happen in June. Perhaps there'll be not yet this increase, multifold increase, but through our efficient commercial activities, there will be increase of dividends per share. Why? What's gonna be the drivers for this? For the stages of our development. The first driver, as I already mentioned during our previous webinar, is DigiU.Voice, a successful commercial product launched by us nearly 2 years ago that's been working very stable throughout this period. It generated profit. It enabled us to pay dividends. And under the frame of this project, the goal are very clear cut. Globally, our task is to increase the amount of funds managed by DigiU.Voice by 100 times. So if now we have $2 million, the task is to increase it by 100 times. What it's going to give to the DigiU system? It's going to give us the profit that will be distributed at a considerably bigger amount to our investors. At the last date of dividends distribution last year, what happened? We sold and we gave as a gift 158 millions of DigiU shares, and this is for what we distributed. Currently, due to increased value and decreased bonuses in the package, around 170 millions were sold and given as a gift. So what do we see here? We see a steady trend, steady efforts, so that we sell less efforts, but there'll be bigger, there'll be more dividends. And in order to increase the amount of funds managed by DigiU Wealth, we need strong professional network of people who promote, develop this product, and disseminate it all over the world. Throughout those 2 years of work, we've understood that this is not a product for everybody. A person should at least understand what does mean DeFi, have a wallet, be able to buy currency, be able to allocate it, and even if someone may think that it's very easy, it's definitely not everyone who can do it. So the DigiU project, DigiU Wealth, we faced kind of misunderstanding of the product, misunderstanding of how it works. And as a consequence, the product promotion was not that fast, was not of that high quality as we desired. So we understand that we need to repack the product for the people involved in investment promotion of it. So the first steps have been already undertaken, and in the mid-May, you'll already see the changes. There'll be a very detailed meeting with Sergey, who is the ideologist, the creator, the inspirer of DigiU Wealth. And there'll be a talk about the product, about its development, and what should be done so that the goal to increase the money in management would be achieved already this year. It is important to understand it. It is important to be ready for such changes because it is essential to understand how are we gonna achieve this goal, increasing the amount of dividends. And please be assured that we based our work on a very clear-cut algorithm that we already tested, and DigiU Wealth is this product. The second drive, how we gonna increase the amount of dividends multifold. That's new fields, new products. We always say that DigiU, it's an ecosystem. It's a place where a product develops from idea, from the concept, and then it becomes the minimally viable. It is tested for commercial efficiency, and that's the path from the concept to high commercial efficiency. So the DigiU ecosystem should be of such quality that it attracts and develops more and more products like this. So the first product is DigiU Wealth, and the second one is AVA, the blockchain data protocol. DG is the primary token issue that's going to take place in May, and you already can read this news in Ava social media. So very soon after primary token issues, the will be mainnet entry, and then the product will be in commercial operation, and subsequently will generate profit. The DigiU system owns part of the Ava project, so we also gonna gain profit. And through launching Ava and its successful development, from successful alpha testing, attraction investment from large international venture funds, big community, about 500,000 people, about 100,000 took part in testing. So professional team, well thought marketing, all these factors give us an understanding that it's highly probable, that highly likely that even this year will be profitable for Ava, for the token holders within the DigiU ecosystem. So it's highly probable that the second part of dividends will be paid this year. And part of this will be, part of the dividends will be already from commercial operation of Ava, which is a very good news. I believe that in May, apart from Sergey's webinar regarding DigiU Wealth, there also will be a webinar with Boris or Alexander about the plans for Ava development before mining for the next few weeks, and after this, what prospects are open by mainnet entry for everybody who are involved or to Ava and those who come to it after this. And it's important to understand that this year will be under the umbrella, the auspices that every time when we're in touch with our audience, we're going to explain, we're going to promote the idea of increasing the share value. We set up very ambitious goal, but we believe it is totally achievable. The point is that investing $1,000 in the DigiU system, the profit per year will be from $500 to $1,000. It is very ambitious, but with the right approach, with the professional team that we shaped, with our striking desire to achieve high results, it is very probable that in the next few years we'll be getting very close to this figure. And please make note that I've been talking only about the first stage of DigiU system development, when we're gonna increase the profitability of our shares by many times, multiple. The next stage, the second stage, will be related to venture fund, and it will allow our partners to take part in those things that common person cannot take part. The third stage, Technopolis, even further development of the system. And the fourth stage, our meta universe, the virtual world, where once again you'll be able to evaluate what are we doing, the securities of DigiU. And it's obvious that in meta universe, and I'm talking about the emerging meta universes that you all may be hearing about, and that involved only some kind of a game features, blockchain, whatever. But I'm talking about virtual worlds of a completely different nature that will be shaped, that will be evolving, and will appear in around 3 to 5 years, where a person gonna spend a lot of time, a person gonna have its own digital personality, digital avatar, and the real economy will develop there. Because spending that much time in the universe, we want to do something, we want to exchange something, and the needs of a digital avatar, at least at first stages, will be similar to the needs that a person has in an actual world. Of course, there'll be some limitations, there'll be some specifics, but in any case, there'll be enough space for developing economy there. And in this space, the shares of the DigiU ecosystem once again will perform its function. So effectively, these are money within the virtual ecosystem of DigiU. So you got dividends at the first, second, third stage. And then at this fourth stage, with opening the virtual world, these became a money equivalent. So it's once again, it's another value that the DigiU shares already possess. Of course, it's gonna be implemented step by step. It's not gonna happen today or tomorrow or even this year. And it's important to understand this. But of course, we're going to be talking about it during this year. We'll be showing you the products that will add to our system and enable us to implement what we want to get close to our goals. And we'll show how the infrastructure help us to fulfill these virtual worlds, because EVA, it's not just a system for liquidity transfer, it's an infrastructure project which will become an industry standard, enabling to convey information by different blockchain, different worlds, different entities. So the potential is much, much higher than you can imagine now, and we're going to be telling you everything about it. But right now, each of you should really, or it's really worth for you to try what I've just talked to you about. So you can try, you can ask questions about it. And there are a lot of questions. But there are no very precise questions. There are very few of them, the questions that move the entire community forward. So I really call upon you to be very active in chats, be very active with our support team. You can write personally to me because very often I am in communications with partners, with investors. We have meetings, we communicate with each other in writing, and we raise such issues. And I understand that the ideas we highlighted in 2019 already now they generate the effect because people who are interested. For example, we have messages that somebody is telling us, well, for the first time, I faced it in 2020 and I've started thinking about digital personality, digital avatars, and I changed the vector of my development completely. Now I'm a developer in this field. And thank you so much I'm very grateful to you for investing in this area. So in a year, the person's life changed completely and he is now a very promising developer, and such stories are very inspiring. So please be ready, get ready to the changes in the DigiU system, which of course going to be taken step by step. But the first important event that will happen in the near future is what a lot of you expect: dividend payment from the 1st to 10th of June. When we looked at the income that we got, we break down into the number of shares that we're going to pay. And once again, dividends are paid on all shares that you purchased or got as a gift. So please, you need to close installments. Be in a hurry to get packages. So do it, hurry up while it's still possible. And now I suggest let's move to the questions that I see some activity in our chats, and it's always great. I'm always very happy. As usually, we'll start with the questions from the Russian chats and then go around. Once again, there is simultaneous translations into French, Spanish, English, and Italian. So my very warm greetings to all our partners from the countries that speak these languages, and I do hope that the same will be arranged soon for the languages used in Indonesia, in Vietnam, because these are the countries that show very strong interest to our work and our investments. There are several questions on Ava. Okay, the first questions. Are you plan to give Ava token to the holders of DigiU shares? And if yes, what going to be the proportions? Next questions. Are you going to have a special offer for the IDO investors? Okay, Ava. It's already several times that I mentioned that DigiU have 50 million token. And if you look through the Ava tokenomics, everything is explained there. But there is also a particular vesting period. This is the period when it is not possible to sell tokens, dispose of them. You can place them to get income, but there can be no sales. It is done with the purpose so that Ava tokenomics, the prices will always be maintained at a particular level and demonstrate a steady growth. So the questions of token distribution can have several scenarios for event development, and we're gonna go into all these details with Alexander at his webinars. I mentioned it already. But in a nutshell, what can be done? For example, part of those tokens can be distributed among those investors of the DigiU ecosystem in proportion prorated to the packages that you acquired. That's option number one. Option number two, all those tokens can be pooled and the profitability can be increased as an entire ecosystems, and those tokens that we get as a profit we can distribute by investors' wallets, or we can sell them and distribute them in dollars rather than in tokens, or both can be done, or some other options can be found, because originally we expected high level of different options, because our job is to satisfy the needs of the main bulk of our partners, majority of our partners. And it's not a secret for you that crypto wallet is not a very popular phenomenon yet. So when we talk about distributing AVA tokens among our investors, we'll say that from 14,000 investors, only 1,500 will be able to get tokens. But what about the rest? We cannot forget them. We cannot neglect them. So some combined options would be as solutions, but in any case they will be designed to protect the interest of the system and our investors and increase the dividend income that I mentioned. So please wait for the news, they'll be coming soon. A special proposal, special offer for our investors on IDO. AVA alpha testing took place, and those who pass through this will get particular award. There is the bounty award program, and if you passed through it, then you'll get it. There is also a round for validators, for people who possess technical skills to improve the infrastructure for nodes roll-on. They can acquire a package of tokens at a special price, if I remember, 12 cents, unlike the IDO price. There are also rounds for those involved in promotion. There is a special offer as well. There is no other special additional offer in tokenomics. It is not expected. The primary issue of tokens will be in May, so you can acquire it at equal conditions, and you'll know clearly when and how it's going to be organized, and perhaps you'll be one of the first to go for it. Next question. Where is the airdrop for the DigiU holders? In which sections of tokenomics? We don't have airdrops in AVA tokenomics section, because the so-called airdrops will be on 5% of tokens on the pre-seed rounds. The very first line, you see that it's closed, pre-seed, and some other rounds are also closed. So based on this, we can talk about some airdrops. Can you schematically explain the interactions between all DigiU shares and all products, wealth and AVA? The question is not very clear to me. By acquiring securities, you invest in the DigiU ecosystem, and within this ecosystem, there are plenty of processes, development of products, research, testing, and so on and so forth. Plenty of different processes. So please be a little bit more precise. What particular scheme are you interested in? And perhaps Sergey will depict it, will give you this scheme at his seminars. If you have some precise questions, you can write in chats, or you can approach the support team, and you can just during the webinars, you can say that you ask a question and you want to understand it better. And I'm sure we'll be able to show you very smart picture, easy for you to understand. Why the price of DigiU shares is very slow in growth? Well, it's very relative. For some people, it's fast. For some people, it's slow. And we'll see pretty nice, pretty high growth, which is first of all associated with, this mechanism enabled to regulate, and with the inflation, so that the share that you buy would get pretty tangible amount of dividends. So for those who invested in DigiU in 2019, 2020, 2021, this year, for everyone who invested at the very outset of this big path forward will get good income. So the increase of value, the increase of the price at which we offer our securities is, of course, related to the inner economy of the project. So everything is okay. When there will be KYC for Israel, the KYC, I don't remember now how many countries are involved, but let me just explain what are the process of KYC. And last year we launched these processes for quite a number of important countries for KYC, and some countries are still outside, but we understand at some point that our support team gives more than 50% to verification of our users. This is not the most efficient. So that's why we approached KYC providers, and the agreement is already signed. Now it's being implemented. So we will give KYC to a particular provider, and very soon, probably in June, it will be open straight away for all the remaining countries. And you'll go through this procedure with a professional license provider and straight away get to the register of securities holders. And the procedure might be even simpler, but recently there'll be no complaints that anybody experienced any difficulties. How much money in dollars have investors put in DigiU? Currently, around $5 million. How do you plan to increase the amount of funds in DigiU? As I said, we're going to change the prepackaging of products. We're gonna optimize the ways to promote the product. And if you used DigiU Wealth, you perhaps noticed that it doesn't include some special attributes. There is in a presentation, there is month by month revenue, and there is a cabinet where it is not always possible to see everything clear. The product should be understood at the market where it works. For people who understand what does it mean, DeFi, liquidity pools, different protocols, how it's possible to earn using them. So such people, they do not ask questions like, okay, you have a product, and typically they just said, you have this product, and what are the results month by month? And you do this, this, and this. Okay, we're ready to invest this particular amount. So this is how it works. And at that period of time, that was the most optimal for the entire DigiU system, because we understood the product was new, the market was new. Now the market stabilized, the product has developed the necessary infrastructure, the basis, the specialist, and we clearly understand there is another way to promote it, promoting through partners, professionals who do know how to promote investment products. And it should be packaged correctly. What does it mean? It means correct remuneration for product promotion, the right motivation system, the right infrastructure, the right working tools such as presentations and so on. So this is what I mean when I say to complete, to add on packaging. Now let's move to the questions asked by our foreign webinar participants. Plenty of questions regarding dividends. As I stated, the time will be in June, from the 1st to 10th of June, and it's going to happen as usual. We'll take the amount of profit that is expected for dividend distribution. Let me to remind that 50% of the ecosystem profit is given as dividends. So we'll take the full amount at the beginning of June. We'll look at the number of sold shares, and this is how we'll distribute the dividends. So at the moment, it's too early to talk about the size of the dividends per share. If DigiU wells truly generate profit from the amount that you have under your control, why don't you ask you to increase this amount by 1,000 times if we'll increase our dividends by 1,000 and over? Well, it's the questions from a foreign chat, so I read it in translation. So let me answer the way I understood the questions. I think I already outlined the DigiU Wealth strategy. The goal to increase by 1,000 times. Why? Because at the moment, the amount under our control is not that high, and we'll see how it can be increased within a year. It is essential to set achievable plans. We understand how to increase it. We understand how it will impact the dividends. This is our goal, and we're gonna go for it. Now we're talking about snapshot of DigiU called us, when it's gonna be made to get 50% of tokens as a bonus. I don't understand where this figure 50% is taken, but regarding the snapshot, I think Alexander will talk about it in more details and will announce the date, and Jennifer will outline the strategy, how we gonna reach the profit so that we get this 50 million EVA tokens. There is a question on KYC, but overall, I explained it. Right now, for KYC in Latin America, we're already completing the procedure. So within a month, about 6 weeks, we'll open it for all remaining countries. If you have specific questions or ideas regarding KYC, you can write directly to me or to the support team. One more question, and I believe it's the right question. So you'd like to attract wealth.net users? Do you consider possibility to earn wealth yourself, like invest in shares? Okay, invest money from share sale already means to dispose of money in such a way that it's not initially expected. What does it mean? In Russia, we operate as autonomous non-profit organization, and we can spend money only for a particular target, like developing artificial intelligence technologies. So investment activities is not spelled out here. So invest money from shares wouldn't be very correct in terms of the law. But the logic is clear of the questions, whether we can dispose of a surplus and spend it correctly. But at the moment, we can't really talk about surplus because for the next few years, we of course need to work on establishing kind of a cushion to feel very safe for our development. And we've been very actively investing in Ava. We're the first investors, and you see the results of our efforts. So we have wealth as a separate product in which partners can invest and through which we can undertake the operations which would be in line with the local regulations. And we already explained that right now there is a period of transition. When this autonomous non-profit organization, there is a transition to certain European companies that we registered, and perhaps after that there will be a possibility to do it within the framework of the law. More questions about KYC we already answered. No more questions in our chats. So dear friends, we're gonna be wrapping up our webinars, and let's do it at a very positive line. There is already a post in the chat about this news that we are ready to announce. And in particular, for all countries, we're launching packages 120, 200, 300 for all countries. So you can decide on a package and then comfortably go for installment, because it's possible to buy it for 5-10 months. And the practice shows that the person buys a small package, then study how it works, and then later upgrades the package for a considerably bigger amount. So now the packets are opened for all countries. That's the first point. The second, that we've been asked for a long time, and we've came to this point very efficiently, increasing the threshold for withdrawing money. Now it's $50. It used to be $100. So my congratulations to everybody with such good news. Please share these webinars. Please join us for the next webinars. Bring partners, friends with you, so that they immerse in the world of modern technologies and change this world to the best together with us, together with the DigiU system. Thank you so much. Take care.